Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters. Always powered by coffee each and every time. Maybe not by White Castle, but still, nevertheless, here we are. I know we're a little late today, and I did not even contact the VC Justice League because it's kind of my fault, just a little bit. My head. I needed to take a nap. I just wasn't exactly 100%. So. But here we are. Some is better than none. We're shooting for a 2-hour show because I actually promised my grandson that I would help construct a small puzzle. So, yep, that's what he's saying. Yep. So we'll do that in a little bit. Also, we'll explain what the title of Dawn of a New Day and Other Rememberings is. For some of you people that have followed me on Facebook, you'll know what part of that is already. But needless to say, we're having at it. I know not exactly a very popular time frame currently tonight. I know for a fact that I think Mayo might be on, and I can't remember who else too. Not only that, for you WWEers, Bad Blood started 12 minutes ago, and so if anybody happens to, I'm not one of those ones where spoiler alerts aren't going to bother me. So if you know what's going down, just drop it in the comments because I'd like to know myself. I already heard one rumor that yes, The Rock is going to be returning. He's been gone for a while. He got hurt on a movie set, and another. Hey, how are you? So, remember this guy? Yeah, of course you do. Look at that look. I'm going to tell you something. As long as YouTube lasts for a very long time, you will always be immortalized as your right. You're not no Gene Simmons. Get out of here. You'll be immortalized.
Tell me what you was gonna say.
I don't even remember anymore because you threw me off. You threw Grandpa off. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, you should see on the teal couch they're playing a video. What are you guys playing for a video game?
Sea of Thieves.
What?
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. They're playing Sea of Thieves, and Toby is just sitting on the teal couch.
I'm playing with Legos.
You're playing with the Legos. Good. He's got like a shit ton of Legos, ladies and gentlemen. And what's a shit ton of Legos? Well, gee, a ton is 2,000 pounds, right? So it literally has a shit ton of. All right, maybe he doesn't have 2,000. Could you imagine if you had 2,000 pounds of Legos? That's equivalent. That's equivalent to a car. A car of Legos would be 2,000 pounds. Yeah, I know. I'm stretching it today, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Lisa. How you doing, Richard? It must be one of those times. There must be a lot of stuff going on. Is there another record auction or something? Jeez, I'll tell you. That's all right. We'll just yap here. I usually how it works. I know is that after a few minutes we start getting some of a trickle. I was hoping to maybe do this in the middle of the afternoon, but just was not going to be in the cards today for me anyway. And, if this ends up being a short show, it's a short show. But you know what Psycho and short show almost does not equal each other. That is a fact on that day. I did manage to bring a couple things to show just out of the Psycho vault, which I'll show that shortly as well. And we may have one or two little short disaster piece theaters. I know I've got a new book. It's not new, but it's a new book to me. The thing is about when you've got memory problems like like me, when you're looking at a book and you used to be able to go, yeah, I read this. Well, guess what? Maybe you read it and you're like, oh, you wait a few months or a year. Hey, it's all brand new to you. How you doing there, Fred? So do you perform with Hartsfield tonight? see what I'm gonna do there? You'll be like, that son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. That is for sure. Thanks for popping on by. All my streams can't be winners, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm gonna tell you something. I have an amazing audience, and I really, really do. This channel's been going straight up across the board, you know. And I did end up getting a couple new subs. I didn't write them down, unfortunately. So let's see if I can get in my memory. Nicholas Carter. No, not that Nicholas Carter. Project Gemini, which it is really Mark. It's just maybe he just resubbed me. Maybe, you know, that's the one thing, guys. If you're watching, when you got time, you know, even in the replay here, check to make sure that you're subscribed to be able to stay in the know. Okay, for these award-winning episodes like this one right now. Oh boy. And then let's see. So we got that and Haxima, Haxyma. Hope I'm spelling that right. Thank you for being into the Psychoplatter Network. We try to do the best we can with what we got. That's always the way it is, for sure. I will say this, that I may have a lead on a bunch of 45s. Oh my. If it's as many as I am being told, then this could be real fun. Problem is, Psycho is, well, not a rich person. I mean, most of us are budget conscious. And I did let him know this, but it did not seem to faze him. So maybe maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll have ourselves a little mini treasure trove to dig through together. How about that? I know there's some people that have gone off and asked me, hey, Psycho, how come you don't go off and you do some solo shows? Well, part of the thing is that that's what Jukebox from Hells are for, which, once again, I know that I showed this yesterday, but just for commercial purposes, that this week's Jukebox from Hell, of course, is from 1972, Creedence Clearwater's Mardi Gras, and then the new one, which should drop Monday, barring anything stupid, will be the October 1981 release of the next Round Trip. Yes. So after that, who knows? It'll be a mystery. I've got all kinds of things. This will be one of those seasons, though, that it's going to be a mix of vinyl and CD for the Jukebox from Hells. Nick, how you doing? Yes, glad to see you here too. And the thing is that let's see, what else am I going to tell you? Oh, I did go investigate a pawn shop today that's shutting down. They're retiring after, I think it was like close to 40 years in the pawn shop business. They're shutting down both locations. I may have to go down to Fayetteville just to check it out. But I checked the one here. Yes, Taz. You know, so here's the thing, speaking of Taz. Did something really happen to him in AEW, or is this a shoot, or is it a work? Because I have seen something else where he might have got injured somewhere. So I don't know. That's fair. Thank you very much on that. That would be very grateful and appreciative here. By the way, we finally got done with the hazelnut coffee, so now we're working on clearance. IHOP makes their brand coffee. Go figure. I'm not sure why, but they do. This is chocolate chip. I don't have to add anything into it. I would say the aroma is decent, that's for sure. And as far as for the taste is concerned, it's okay. It ain't great. It's probably roughly medium roast grade. Like I'm a coffee connoisseur, right? Oh, yeah. Anyways, so dawn of a new day and other rememberings. So Thursday afternoon, this past Thursday afternoon, my son reached out to me to let me know, my oldest one, okay, reached out to me to let me know that his mom passed away. That was my first wife. So this is a 20-year-old shot. That's her. Okay. And at the age of 56. So I would say for any life lessons out there
What?
for you people, try. It's not easy. Try not to hold grudges. Um, because there was issues in the past, child custody issues and underhanded sneakiness and stuff like that, you know. And nobody's perfect. I am not Father of the Year award material. Never have been, never said I was, never professed to be. But I have tried, and I think even my kid next to me down here, and he's playing a game, so I don't expect him to answer, to agree with me that I've tried, ha ha ha, most of my life when it comes to that kind of stuff. I tried to take the high road on things, because the extra stress is not going to work if you hold it in. You see, it's all right. It's life. It happens. Um, I just feel real bad, kind of for my son. I mean, I know he's in his mid 30s, but I mean, when anybody out there loses a parent, right? I mean, my dad, geez, it was 5 years in July. Lord forbid. I don't know what'll happen when my mom, we won't even say anymore. That would be just horrible. Um, but so we're dedicating this episode to her. Um, so, like I said, we didn't really have a lot planned here. We'll probably just do some points of discussion. Um, who saw me on RG show today? I was actually on Mayo's show first, and then I was on RG's show. And I'm beginning to think I am slightly living rent free in a certain person's head. Whatever. I can sleep at the end of the day. Well, try to. Man, that's the thing when you get to be my age. It's like, come on, it's really hard to be able to sleep. So, of course, it doesn't help when you get really tired. You got to take a nap because you got a headache. You know how that goes. Excuse me. See, exactly. Okay, exactly. Um, and you were blessed. I can't say that about my parents. They weren't my best friends. In fact, it could have been worse. Oh, I'm not really complaining about my childhood. I'm not. Could have been a hell of a lot worse. 70s was a different time. Well, here's the thing. You're right on that. Guilty as charged, Fred. But I think I'm probably going to try to start it. Like I said, I kind of made myself lax. That I'll probably just really start flipping to decaf maybe at about when I get home. Sometimes when I get out of work and I can come here or whatever, I'll just flip to decaf and maybe that'll help. Yeah, 2 pots of coffee. You're right. Guilty as charged. This is my second pot I'm working on. I said pot. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Most of it's really not worth it. It's a lot. It's like most of the other VC loop of going ons. It's usually a lot of hot air, but the balloon doesn't stay up very long. That's what it is. Anytime I think of Taz, that's exactly what I think of. Is, oh God, oh no, 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 no. I think I knew somebody that was into that stuff. Oh. I even have a friend of mine in rehab right now. And I bet you, like Amy, she did not want to go back. No, 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 but she did, and I'm glad so. She'll better her life for it. So let's see. Yeah, in a little bit, we'll do Disaster Piece Theater, where if you read this book, if you're into 80s metal, if you're into 80s metal and the sort of the 80s metal MTV-ish points, this is actually a really damn good read so far. I've learned a few things. Through here, and we'll touch on a handful of them. But I'm already like what about 25% into the book already. In case you're trying to figure out, it says nothing but a good time: the uncensored history of the '80s hard rock explosion. Whoop-dee twang that Corey Taylor from Slipknot writes the forward. Could care less about that, but whatever. Tom Bourgeois and Richard Bristock. And I'll show us maybe some pictures out of this later. I never liked uppers much. Oh boy. Me neither. Probably with my excuse me. Probably with the way I am. Probably back in the 70s, it would have been Quaaludes. Probably. I'm guessing. A lot of people liked Quaaludes back then. I was a Valium child, believe it or not, because they didn't know the ADD. I would get, I can't remember how many milligrams or whatever. That didn't last very long, though. They stopped that like about a year later for me. But yeah, you'd go to the school nurse. Okay, here's your medicine. Well, look, a lot of good that turned out, right? Whatever. Brian, hello there from Tokyo. Yes, and glad to see that, sir, that Tokyo is still there. Godzilla has not come back yet, right? And by the way, Brian, I'm sorry I have not gone off. I'll either today or tomorrow. I'll message you the address so that for those wonderful things. And I want to ask you a question or two too. Nothing bad, just some private stuff for over there. Okay, Lucky. So by the way, I think didn't something prayers to you and your family as well? I could have sworn I saw on either Joe or RG that you were brought up, or am I misspeaking? Dusty, how you doing? Any good, Lucky? Yeah, any good? On the Joker too. Just say yay or nay or whatever. Tokyo may still be that, but yeah, I have prayers to the people in the Carolinas. I will tell you right now. That is just crazy shit. It really, really is. Thank you. Okay, that's fair enough. Yay. I am very, very seriously sorry about that. Prayers of healing and love go to everyone affected and all involved. Seriously. January it'll be 16 years for myself, and not myself, but my sister and her sudden. But yes, Lucky, I'm prayers to you. I don't know. 2024. It's all different, isn't it now? Just got this feeling of whatever. I can't explain it. Can't put my finger on it. Just something's off in the world. I can feel it. Can you people feel it too? Something
wrong. I can feel it.
What was that?
I said something's wrong. I can feel it.
Oh boy. Yeah. I just something's not right out there. Joker 2 was interesting. Getting more hate than it deserves. Wasn't great, but it took chances. And for that, if that is that's fine. I think movies should take chances, especially if you're gonna. Yeah. Oh boy, I'm just, all I'm going to say is it never should have gotten this far. We've talked about this on my show and even on our G show. I brought this up. Yes, Lady Gaga was in it. Um, yeah, Lady Gaga's in it. Oh, excuse me. Shit. Tim, he just put a new video, okay, on his channel. Some new vinyl finds. I went and liked it, Tim. In fact, I saw your video just shortly before I came on here. Vulcan swear. And but yeah, check out Tim's channel. It's always good to see Tim. He lives in the confines of Rockford, Illinois, or nearby, excuse me. Takes the piss out of explanations. Oh boy. Hey James, how you doing? Good to see everybody here, like I said before. So I went and looked at the RSD list. Whoop-de-twang. To me, okay, I don't know about you people, okay, I haven't bought anything from a record store day list, and well, the last thing I got, and I didn't get it immediately, I ended up getting it free in a trade. The Monkey Missing Links on vinyl. That was the last thing I did. Those volume, the 2 and 3, I picked up because I already have a OP of 1. I'm listening at double speed, getting caught up. So, but I think it's very underwhelming. Okay, the Beatles stuff. So what? It's already been out. So what that the Beatles UK pressing of Hard Day's Night is on clear vinyl? So what? I don't understand. It seems like to me we're grasping straws. And yes, okay, whatever happened to the days of Record Store Day where it would be unreleased stuff, whether it be live or studio or alternate, and I'm just like, God, I could just care less. This is not, this to me, it's all been cash grab city, okay, and I don't know if this is how RSD is going to be. Maybe they should just stop. And I'm sorry, I'm not, that's just my opinion, of course, and an opinion assholes. Everybody's got one, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm very underwhelmed on this list. Usually with the past, I found like at least one item that I would have been interested in. One, all right, and I'm like, I mean, I tried to do my best to look at the 4 pages, okay, to see if there really was anything of note. And unless I missed something, it just didn't look like it. Not this time, and I think what record collectors should do is vote with their wallet. I've said this now for a long time. Like, I remember last year, I only bought, what was it? I bought the Tinted Windows album, the supergroup, with Bunny Carlos and James Iha from Smashing Pumpkins. And I mean, it's a decent album. It's not great. It's decent. I'm happy to have it in the collection, for mostly for Cheap Trick related and than anything else. But it is what it is. I don't know if you guys feel the same way or not, or you could just simply say, hey, bite it there, Psycho, or whatever. I took a look also at the Rhino Rocktober list, and I didn't exactly feel very. I was underwhelmed on the Rocktober list, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. So let's see. I'll need that Hard Day Night clear vinyl. That way, I can actually find my way to my turntable. That's funny. I like that. Exactly. Okay. And the other thing is, keep this up for a second. The other thing is, as us true record collectors, yeah, I'm saying it. True record collectors. Every day is record store day. Okay. It's all there is to it. When we go to our hole in the walls, our favorite places, maybe our not so favorite places, you go to any resale shop and you find vinyl. Well, it's in a way, it's got a record department, doesn't it? See, I'm stretching it here, aren't I? But that's what I'm saying. Every day is record store day. Now, do I spend money on records every day? No. Do I spend weekly? Sometimes, if I've got the money. I'm not one of these ones that goes and does knee-jerk purchases unless it's in my price range and I'm like, I don't think I can wait a week. This thing will be gone. And it doesn't really matter because when I'm dead anyway, these guys, even though I know, let's see, I've got all three of my sons and one of my daughters wants parts of this collection anyway. They're going to have to fight it amongst themselves, though, because I won't be around. The only time I'll be around is if they sell like one of my valuable 45s for 25 cents at a yard sale. I will come back and haunt and kick their ass, literally, and go, that was 25 cents. It was $200. I don't know. Yeah, it is all crap. And like I said, back a few years ago, it was a little different. Ladies and gentlemen, a treasure from the Orient, a pearl of wisdom, if you will, and a guy who we love, at least in here. And don't take offense to this, okay, sir? My favorite guy from the Valley. It's
Hey there.
because you.
My
Yeah.
audio was screwed up for a second, but now I can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good. That's good. So, how are you doing over there in Japan?
Good. It's just I'm trying to get going here. It's the morning time. It's very early.
Yes. Did you have breakfast
7:30
yet?
in the morning.
Ew, no,
I had a
you
little.
didn't, did you?
I had a little piece of bread, and I
Oh.
have some coffee. Everybody's
Oh,
asleep.
good.
And so
Oh,
I
good.
can have some time to write, and I'm exporting my next video, and I just saw you on here, and I wanted to come say hi, and I
Thank you.
wanted to can I say a thing?
You can say whatever you want.
Well, I first of all, I really appreciated your vulnerability and just sharing about your family experiences. It's I think it's you said you feel like it's the world is a little bit unsettled at the moment, and when you
Yeah.
hear like some real talk from some real people, I think it just helps everybody. So thanks for sharing that. It's meaningful. So thank you
Well, thank
about
you. You're too kind.
well, your situation. I mean, I don't know you that well, but I just feel like I think from I don't know, Paul. Wait. Tell me which city you're in. I know you're in Arkansas, but which city are you in?
I'm in Rogers, so I'm near Walmart
Rogers.
corporate. Yeah.
So you're like literally 3 hours, I think, from Tulsa, something like that, right? Or less.
Even less if I do it real good, maybe 2.
Right. So that just really bonds me to you, Paul. I don't know if you feel that. I just I'm like, oh, this guy is from my neck of the woods, and I just whenever I see you, I'm like, this is my tribe of people. Really, even more so than the vinyl community at large.
Pretty
And so,
much.
even though, yeah, it's just, but people like they're quick to dismiss places like Oklahoma and Arkansas, and fine by me, just stay away. I don't need, not that I'm there, but there's such, I mean, okay, for all their faults, I mean, that's a nice part of the country, real nice part of the country. And if you just get out on the in the hills, because it's the Ozarks, right?
Right.
It's one of the most beautiful places in the whole country. I've been around it. It's real
Yeah.
nice.
I still
But
think it is mostly.
yeah, I mean, I admit I kind of escaped from there. I ran at full speed away from there. But at the same time, I miss it a lot. And you kind of help me just remember that there's awesome people there and cool reasons to like love it. But there was another thing I wanted to just touch on. I this concept. Okay, so I'm not. I think. Okay, wait. So you've got what, 5 years? You guys have a few years on me. Your beard's a little bit more white than mine, right? So
I just
what
turned
is your?
57.
Okay, so you've got 9 years on me.
Okay.
And I think my first medium essentially was records, even though that was until like 7 years old. But then it was like cassettes. That's which I
Right.
feel like the cassette window was kind of short, and there's not so many of us that came to the cassette not as a way to bring our records with us, but as like the way that we consumed Thriller and Madonna and Prince and
Hmm.
like these records. We bought them on cassette before we bought them
Right.
on had them on vinyl or CD. So when I came back to records, I was like, buying this is the way it happened. I moved into my first apartment. Was like 18 years old. Went to the Sally, the Salvation Army, to go buy my first tacky like 70s table, side table lamp and like a
Hmm.
ratty old couch. And then I saw one of those amps that like my uncle had. I was like, what the hell? Do they have that stuff here? Oh my God, what are these giant speakers? Holy shit. I got to get some of this stuff in my house, dude. I'm like, I got to be like, And so, and then you see like these Led Zeppelin and, Pink Floyd, and they're like $2, $3. And you're like, wait a second, this is the way you should buy music. Fuck these like $15 CDs. I'm going to start
Hmm.
buying $2 Pink Floyd records. And, and then I feel like I don't know, I'm maybe speaking out of class, but this generation came to records when it was like at its lowest. And we, it what you said a second ago is what I want to get to. It's that every day is record store day. This thing is so spot on, because when we go to record stores, I'm not interested in buying old records. I mean I am, because I love music, but I'm interested in like being like, oh fuck yeah, I found that record for $5 on the
Hmm.
thing. That's what I'm constantly chasing. And it's not like a deal. I'm not chasing a deal, but I'm
Right.
chasing like the magic of the record store, the magic of like looking at, Noel Gallagher put it, some I saw on one of those I think it was the Hypnosis video. I don't know, have you followed the Hypnosis guys, right? I forget their name. Norm Strom, whatever his name is, the guy who did the Pink Dark Side of the Moon artwork.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Strom
Okay.
Thorgerson or something. Okay, he's part of the
Something like that.
duo
Yeah.
called like Hypnosis, I think, and they did like
Hmm.
all these iconic record albums. Everybody knows them, but they did a documentary about during the pandemic, which I actually haven't seen. But in the trailer, Noel Gallagher gets on screen and he says, "Records are the poor man's art collection, are the poor man's art gallery, or something like that." And you've got them on your wall. You've got all your posters on your wall. You don't have any Picassos. You don't have any Renoirs.
Right.
You've got all these amazing concert posters. And man, I just like the whole idea of chasing new records or high fidelity. Like, I get it that that's some people's jam, but I'm all about finding the sentimental record that means something to you, that you found it in the record shop on the day in the P's,
Mhm.
can't believe it was $13, and you're just charging home. That's what I'm in the record, and that's what I'm in record collecting for. So every day
Exactly.
definitely is record store day for me, every day. And
Hmm.
records, and the real record store day is like, why would I? Well, I'm not nearly half as excited about bringing home a brand new record as I
Yeah.
am. That's, wow, this one's still 50 years old, and look at it, still in really great shape, and it's still got the
Hmm.
thing, and holy cow, the postcards haven't been sent yet. Should I send the postcards? Should I not send the postcards? Maybe I'll do it. I'll do it. Whatever. Those are the things I live for.
It reminds me of that Robert Crumb cartoon that he did, because he was a very big jazz blues 78 collector.
Right.
And he drew this panel. He was at this record shop and he's holding the thing and he goes, "Oh my God, I've been looking for this for so long. the luster on this, the grit. And I'm just
He's like
going, oh my,
sweating. Right.
yeah. And I'm going, oh my God, that's like, that would be me or anybody else that would be like, oh my God, I finally am holding my, yeah, exactly. It's about the chase. It's about the adventure. It's about the discovery of what you hear and see. And there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of hobbies that somebody could have, but this is one of those that if you went once you're hooked, sure, you may take a break. You may not, you may disappear for a couple of years, but you're going to come back and you're always going to have that love because it was. And yes, Brian, you're right. I can understand why. I mean, I did cassettes too in the I don't know, the early to late 80s. Okay. I still bought records like if they were in a clearance thing or whatever. But I mean, cassettes because I had the Walkman. I was gifted a Walkman. So I get that. I get that. That's whatever you're thinking, childhood attachment. Just like for the the CDs when they came out. That's going to be their thing. And records, I'll admit, I know some people say, oh well, record collecting's for old farts. No, it's always quality over quantity. And I think truthfully that not every old record, but a lot of those old records, okay, pick any band that you can think of that means something to you. And about maybe 90% of that output from 40, 50, even 60 years ago now, it still holds up. Okay. It's like, okay, so when I was a kid in the 70s, all right. And I was just starting to go to record stores. I know some of you people are going to roll your eyes at this, but this is kind of true. If it wasn't a 50s revival, because everybody seemed to be wanting those 50s records, it was the 20s, the 1920s R&B, the soul, the old school blues in the 78s. I remember people were coming in the record stores in the late 70s chasing for these. Do you have any 78s? And he had a song, but people would be chasing down those things. So it's like it's just this weird, skip generational or whatever. Okay, and I mean the thing is, we're in the 2020s. So what is nostalgia now? The 90s?
Yes.
Like,
I
even my
remember
kid
when
is like the 90s, and I'm like, so. I mean the 90s. Okay, and I'm not knocking the 90s because hell, I liked the hair metal, which was very little in the 90s, and the alt rock, the big names and some of the smaller names. Okay, and there was still some punk around the edges in that era. G.G. Allen and other things. But just imagine though, in the 2040s, the 2050s, and everybody, come on, are you telling me that these people that in the 2050s they're going to be looking for their music from the 2020s and they're going to want Cardi B and they're going to be searching for that multicolored Cardi B vinyl?
Okay. Let me
rap?
interrupt you there. Let me interrupt you there. I hear you loud and clear. I definitely hear you loud and clear. But you gave some sound parental advice moments ago. Let me give you a
Did
little.
I?
Well, it was a little fatherly. I wasn't father of the year, but I tried to take the high road. Don't hold
Yes.
grudges. I took that to heart. But
Hey.
last night my daughter, bless her heart, she's 13 and she's just like and she's half Japanese and she's going through the identity crisis and all the trials and tribulations of teenage dumb. And
Yep.
she
All been through it.
sometimes says, she says to me sometimes Dad, can you take me somewhere? And I'm like, sure, where do you need to go? And she just says anywhere. Just go for a drive. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And I'm just like, my heart melts and I try to not burst into tears because I'm so happy that she just wants to hang out. But we get in the car last night and we drive across Tokyo and we drive around the Imperial. We have a little route that we take and then we came right back. And she's the DJ of the and I can't even try to control if I say hey, put on this, she'll be like, I got something else that I think you'll like more than whatever you just suggested. And she'll play music. And last night she put on a handful of things that she thought she's just recently discovered, sort of like old. She's discovered some retro stuff. She learned the word retro, and she's being like, "Oh yeah, do you like this retro sound?"
Oh
Yes, I
boy.
do. So
Uh-huh.
we found some common ground, and then she played this new like Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars record. I don't know if you know
Hmm.
this. It just something just came out. A Mars and Lady Gaga tie up. Okay,
I
it's
know of
it's
them, but I didn't know about this.
it's a fun look for the cover. Cover is kind of a riot, and and it was great. It was excellent, and I so don't be too quick to dismiss whatever 2040 teenagers might be looking back on at retro. There's some things you might have to dig for it, but I do hear what you're saying. It's
Yeah,
like
I'm just busting balls a little here.
I know, I
I
know, I
really
know.
am. I'm not.
Hey,
You know me. I ain't judgmental. Look at Brought Her to Tears. That what you're talking about? It brought her to tears, Jen.
well, that's a nice. I mean, I've been real lucky with, I have my family's avoided the. Everybody's made it to a ripe old age, and we've all got to enjoy each other. And yeah, lucky. I just count my blessings all the time. I want to. It's a great song by Bruno and Gaga. We listened to a lot of the album last night. But I got something for you, or I got an
Yes,
idea.
sir.
Coming back to Robert Crumb, give me 1 second, and let me grab a record or two.
Go
Just give me one
ahead.
second.
Sure.
Let me grab. Let me see here. M. Oh, that would be It's up here. What is this? Joni Mitchell. Okay, I'm getting. Okay, here we go.
Pave Paradise put
And
up a parking lot.
okay, and hold on. Let me just grab these ones. Okay, I'm here. I got them.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, so
Hey.
do you know about now I'm not going to be able to explain this well, but do you know about anti-folk? You've heard this term before? I think
Anti-folk.
yeah, anti-folk is a thing. Okay, so
Huh.
anti-folk. So in the 90s, I was really into Fish. I'm still into Fish, right?
Okay.
I've well established myself as a Fish head, but Fish broke up in um, they took a hiatus in 2000, and then they officially quit in 2004, and their whole world imploded, and the end of their band was a complete catastrophe, and I was like on the flaming, crashing airplane along with them. And when it was over, I was so happy for it to be over. I was just like, thank God we ejected from this flaming bus, and I was really happy to just unplug from the whole thing. And I was at the time I was going to New York a lot, and I and I wasn't living in New York, and I didn't know New York, but I wanted to be a part of New York. And there was this scene there that kind of came out of like Lower East Side and the Village, and there was this thing coming up that was called the anti-folk movement, and it was started by a guy, I can't really remember his name, but it was sort of like not exactly a lampoon of like the folk movement of the 60s
Hmm.
or whatever, but it was a reinterpretation of that, and it was sort of just a new take on it. And one of the most famous voices that came out of that movement was Regina Spektor, who you might have heard
I've
of
heard of the
before.
name. I have not heard the
Right.
music. Mhm.
So another band that came out of that era is called the Moldy Peaches. Okay.
That's funny because William just said he goes, I saw a Moldy Peaches record.
Yeah, the Moldy Peaches are awesome. They're absolutely great. They're this ridiculous band by Adam Green and Kimya Dawson and Jeff Lightning Lewis and a few other people. This is a I knew these guys. I saw them a number of times, and they even came around, and I got to meet them a handful of times. And they're really cool. And it's like
Yeah,
it's kind
because
of
you don't have.
it's like punk folk. That's sort of what it is. It's
Yeah,
like
you're sure.
add a little punk, pepper in a little punk into the like
Dude, you
60s
like
folk
all
thing, and you get
Asian.
anti-folk. Okay? So it's like I don't know, Columbia times like Rough Trade or AD or something like that. So anyway, Kimya Dawson, she was this Adam Green is this really cool songwriter who's a little bit like Jonathan Richmandy, and he's got this kind of baritone voice, and he sings these kind of stupid songs, and they're sometimes like juvenile and sexual and stupid, and sometimes really really sentimental. And Kimya Dawson's got this, like, she's this big sort of really funky sort of, what are those Wachowski brother-ish looking, like, kind of in your face style with these crazy dreads and piercings, and she wears this like kind of costume, and but she's this little sweet thing. And she was, one of her songs got really really popular on some movie, I think. What was that? Little Miss Sunshine, maybe, was the movie, was
Oh, okay, okay. That's a good
she
movie.
had
I
a
saw
really
that.
big hit, a breakout hit. So one
Wow.
of the so Kimya Dawson, I think she might be like half, like, I don't know what the story is, but I think she's got an interesting story. But I really recommend going to check out Kimya Dawson. And I'm actually a giant Adam Green fan. Adam Green, who is so they broke up. Adam Green and Kimya Dawson were kind of the front people of this band, and they kind of split. They were part of this family of characters. Like, somebody will know this better than me. I'm just kind of, I had to piece this all together on my own accord. I have no idea really. I'm just piecing things together, and this is almost like before the internet. But anyway, Adam Green has a great discography, and I can't recommend all of his records enough. He's got just like heaps and heaps of solo records that are all fantastic. But there's one and Kimya Dawson as well. She's not as prolific as he is, but she's got some. And her like records, if you can find them out there, they've got original artworks inside them. She, like, they're that small of runs where she puts like little, I can see a little note she's got in here.
Mhm.
But one of the characters in this scene is this guy called Jeff Lewis. You ever heard of this guy, Jeff Lewis?
No, you got me on this
Okay.
one.
Okay, so this guy, his name is Jeff Lightning Lewis, and this is his latest offering, I think, called Jeff Lewis and the Voltage, Bad Wiring. And if you look real close, you'll see this beautiful artwork, and you'll see here on the back, he's not just a musician, he's also a comic artist. Okay, this guy makes these guys are like these Jewish New York guys. I don't know if Jeff Lewis is Jewish, but they're like they've got that New York sort of attitude, that it's just kind of alien to me.
Mm.
And it's very, very Robert Crumish. And
Mhm.
the artwork in here is absolutely stunning. Look at the lyrics are all handwritten out,
Wow.
and it's this, it's like, it's this enormous picture of, like,
It's pretty
amazing
cool.
artwork. Okay,
Yes.
so the thing is that he's got this I'm sorry, this is taking me a while to explain,
No,
but
relax.
he's got this video. He's got a song called The LPs. I've got the LPs. And it's like a disease. I got a disease. It's called the LPs, and
Mm.
it talks about going to record stores in the 90s and being like, I couldn't pass a record store without going inside and finding Led Zeppelin and all my favorite records on for $2 each, and I bought them all for. And I'm like, oh my god, this is exactly the experience that I had growing up. And then he goes to the song. It's like an MTV video. It's so fun and good. It's like Sabotage, or it's like a video that you could watch. Like, it's so classic.
Mm.
And anybody in the record, it's such a shame that nobody knows who this guy is, because he's so good. And it's like a high production quality video. It's really good. And in the story, he talks about going to record stores. It's all about the record store experience, and just going
Mhm.
there, and like, I found, my old records I found a can, and now I can't buy it anymore because it's super expensive. And then he talks about, and now my addiction it's gone from the LPs to the CDs. And he
Yeah.
talks about how nobody's buying the CDs, and I can still get them for 44 cents or whatever. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just, but I recommend, you made me think of him because, I mean, his music is so good. It's like lo-fi punky folk, and it's not punk. It's like, and it's not exactly folk either. But if you're not a person who, um I don't know, I can't take such abrasive music all the time. But but this is not that. But I want my music to have like, some edge to it. And so I really recommend anybody in that anti-folk world. And if you're a comic lover and a Robert Crumb appreciator, uh check out Jeff Lewis's comic work, and not only his music, but also check out his comic works. He's very much like almost a little junior Robert Crumb. He's
Cool.
he's kind of a mama. He's got like a complex, and he's got, but there's something sort of like, he's got like some obsession. He's got some fetish thing that's and it's just really interesting. I'm really happy to get to share about him. Jeff Lewis and the Bad Wiring.
Excellent.
Anti-folks.
See,
Sorry, Paul. Thanks for letting me go off there for
no,
a
no,
second.
it's okay. Like I said, this is what this is all about. This is what it's all about. See, I never knew about this about the anti-folk stuff. Now, I mean, I know you were talking about okay, like I remember seeing Mighty Wind, the Folksmen, and all that stuff going, and I'm like, and I dug some of that. Okay,
So wait, what's that?
eating.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
But
What is
okay,
that?
so the people that made this is Spinal Tap.
Okay,
In the
yeah, sure.
90s, those same people came back and turned themselves into the Folksmen, and it's called A Mighty
Okay. Oh
Wind.
yeah.
And so that movie is a damn good movie, and
Okay.
just the different types of you've got all kinds of people in this thing. Eugene Levy's in it too, but I mean, there's
Okay.
a handful of other ones. So you've got pretty much them. They make a mock-up of the Kingston Trio, if you will, or like the Folksmen and
Louis, yeah.
Edith Joes, and then like Eugene Levy, and I can't remember who the female is, but was it Catherine O'Hara, or was it somebody else?
She's
Point
so
of the matter
good.
is, they were supposed to be like like an Ian and Sylvia almost, and there was some other ones too, and you're just like trying to figure out, oh, okay, but the soundtrack's really good.
Right.
At least they had it on CD. I don't know if that. And then as far as for you're talking about Fish, my late wife is the one that started. It was between that, and we used to have a really good, well, okay, decent radio station that Monday through Friday at noon. Okay, so they would call it the nooner, but from noon to 1, they would play all of this 90s music. And the first Fish that I ever heard was Down with Disease. And I am going, I love this. Who the hell is this? And then one of the last things was, I'm not going to get the title right really well, but
I'm so impressed with Down with Disease.
Working Down the Number Line?
Oh my God, how do you know this shit, dude? That's impressive. That's instant street
Chess.
cred. Just went off the charts, Paul.
Chess, we used to hear that song, and
Yeah, Backwards Down the
when it was
Number
her
Line.
birthday, Backwards
Right,
Down the
it's a
Number Line.
birthday
And,
song.
yep, and I'm like, and for
Wow.
some reason, I would try to recall and request for that. Can you play? And she wouldn't know I'd be doing this, and then she'd be like, hey, and so we'd sing along to the damn thing. Hey, when it come on the radio.
That's so
And
touching. That's so
yeah,
great to hear.
but I still need
Backwards
to
Down
love.
the Number
Fish is a
Line.
great jam band.
Yeah, and they're just like they actually get this title jam band, but it's a really misnomer. They are like virtuoso musicians. I don't want to go off. People will just start bagging on me, but it's fine. But Backwards Down the Number Line is so as I mentioned, like the band sort of crashed and burned pretty hard. Everybody kind of, not everybody, but their front, their sort of leader, Trey Anastasio, like,
Right.
got 11 felony accounts, and he did
Holy
nothing terrible.
shit.
Well, he was driving down the New York freeway like high and buzzed and filled, and the car filled with all kinds of stuff. And he, luckily, all that happened was that he got thrown in sort of house arrest for like some 14 months. But he got sober, and he turned his life around, and this was at the height of sort of the band breaking up and everything going wrong, and he got it all back together, and he basically avoided the same fate that so many rock and rollers don't get the chance to do. And you can tell that his humility and his you know, self-awareness and introspection has like like allowed the music to keep going in a way that it almost nearly didn't, and it didn't happen for so many other bands. So he's a giant, not just musical inspiration because he's such a virtuoso, but he's also like, you know, truly a an inspiration to me. But at the height of his, or not at the height, but like at the low, at one of the lowest parts of his sort of house arrest situation, his writing partner Tom Marshall, who was sort of the fifth member of, he's sort of the Robert Hunter to Jerry
Hmm.
Garcia. He's the
Okay.
songwriter, he's the lyricist guy. He wrote, and he's also a musician like Robert Hunter is, and he can, you know, he's, and they have these songwriting sessions where they famously like disappear for a couple months and go off and write a bunch of new songs. And Trey was like, I don't know, holed up in his little shitty apartment while he was dealing with this situation. And Tom wrote this song for him. Every year he'd write him this birthday song. And one year he was like, he wrote a song for him called Backwards Down the Number Line and said, like, hey, dude, like, we're still waiting for you. You haven't, you know, we're all waiting for you to come back. We all want you to, you know, have a good situation. And that song is, even though it's like sentimentality overload, it's a really sweet song that really helped everybody, when everybody hears it at the show, like, ah, this song again. And then after it starts going a while, everybody's like, yeah, this song's awesome. Hey, Mason.
Hey, I'm on my lunch break right now, so my camera's gonna be off. I don't like eating on
Understand.
camera. But I saw you were live, and you know, I figured now is the best time to catch you, because you know, I you like to go for no more than like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, probably 2 hours today anyway.
But I missed you yesterday. You were just getting off.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's, you know, it is. Well, you know what, Randy, now hang on a minute, okay? So I used to do my 2 to 10, so this would be about right. Lunchtime would be around 6. I know, dinner time, whatever the hell, dinner, lunch, brunch, dinner, I don't give a shit. Anyways, yes, so looks like he's, oh, is he going to pull some more goodies? Yeah, see, we're getting, Mason lives in OZ. What the hell's in Oz? Oh boy.
Hey, I'm bringing this back full circle. Mason, Oz means OZ, or OC means Ocean Beach, or wait, oh, that's, oh, what's, that sounds like San Diego, OC. Do I know that? Do I have that right? Ocean Beach and PB is C. No, that's B, not C. Where's OC?
Oh,
Paul, do
I
you know
don't
where
know.
OC is? Oh, you don't say. Okay, that's fine.
I actually live in Texas.
Okay, so we're all connected states here. Arkansas, right? Arkansas must connect to Texas, doesn't it? Touches Texas. I'm originally from Oklahoma. That's why I mentioned it.
I think it is one of our states.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. There's a joke. I don't like to throw fellow Okies under the bus. There's a joke that Texans like, you know, why doesn't Texas float off into the Gulf of Mexico? Because Oklahoma sucks so hard.
Sorry, I had to disappear for a second. Well, you know, it is what it is. I like, listen, see, a lot of people would not, I'm going to leave this up just for 2 seconds. A lot of people wouldn't know that. I mean, I'm not a extreme deadhead, but you know, I tripped onto the Dead probably about, probably around 80. Right around, for some reason, I happened to hear Alabama Getaway. And I'm going, who is this? And I'm just like, and then so I went backwards and
yeah, R.I.P. Jerry Garcia.
And yeah, well, yeah, and I never did get to see the Dead. I was kind of ticked off about that, but I'm sorry, but I know some people are going to roll their eyes when I tell them, like, my favorite Grateful Dead, one of my favorite Grateful Dead is Shakedown Street. I know it's the Dead going disco, awesome. But that is such a kick-ass song, and that Lowell George, you know, what a strange pairing, but you know, I mean, whatever, right?
George Lowell is all over Japanese 60s and 70s rock as well. He produced a lot of the '70s guys here. So he's all over the sound of old Japanese rock and roll. I love Lowell George. Love Lowell George. And yeah, that's Shakedown's wicked good record.
Thank you. Go to heaven.
What about
I'm not all up here. I wish I could tell you I haven't met anybody from the dead. I would have liked to, although there's this cool tour, and I think it already happened, I think a month ago. It's like a Dead Allman tribute band. It's a combo band, okay? But it's different people that were in the world of both of them, all right? And Tom Constantin, am I going to pronounce this right? He
I
was
think
here.
so. Yeah.
He was in Fort
Wow.
Smith. And I'm like, if
Dude,
Fort Smith wasn't far away, I would have gone even just to see Tom. I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta go and see this. Because most people forget about Tom. Everybody remembers Pigpen and Keith Godshaw and Brent. But it's like Tom was there for a little while, so
Tom was great. I love his playing. He had the most unique sound out of all of those guys. Really, I don't know what happened to him,
yes.
how he just. But I love his playing. Also, in case you didn't
And
know, okay, I
yes,
see some Terrapin. I love Terrapin too. Yeah, I got into the Dead like I don't know, a teenager, but and then I got into them at the same time. But hey, somebody's called me a valley. I don't even quite understand this, and I don't
well,
take any umbrage
I'm not
here.
gonna lie, okay, Brian, and this doesn't bother
That's
me, okay,
come on.
because when I was in high school, 80s was the Valley thing, Valley girl, she's a can I
I
give her the
love Valley
spoon,
Girl.
and I just like, but I don't care. That doesn't bother me, Brian. In fact, I like it. It actually is a
Oh, I
welcoming
don't.
presence for me anyway. When you
But
talk
what
like
does that
this,
even mean? What does that even
well,
mean?
like California surfer,
I've
dude.
got no connection to California
It doesn't
whatsoever.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I don't care. I like the way you talk, so it doesn't matter. I like it.
So do
People,
I
that's what
say
matters.
for sure? Gag me with a spoon. Come on, come
No, it's just
on.
the
Oh my
cadence. It's the
God.
cadence. Yeah.
Okay, that's the way I talk. I never knew that. I never knew that about myself.
It's
That
the
I sounded like a
cadence. I
Valley
love it
girl.
though.
Okay,
The live dead, of course, is going to be your big bread and butter because they even said it themselves.
Oh, I mean,
They,
interesting.
they were huge as a live act to the point that they were
yes.
even doing shows back in like '71, I think, with alongside the Beach Boys, actually.
Yes, and I thought some of that got legitimately released. You're talking about wasn't it the 71 or 72? They were at the Fillmore together. What a strange pairing, but supposedly it went over very
Yeah, and they
well
were
with the
performing
audience.
songs.
I read a headline years ago that said the Dead are the first proto-punk band, and I just knew it. Like it just like broke the internet for the Dead to be like associated with punk. But it's interesting how a lot of punk dudes love the Dead, and it's like there's something about the DIY ethos of the Dead that is pretty punky. And look at this picture of Garcia's Gang. This is a bootleg live record. Look at these freaking punks. Are these guys hippies? Look at these guys. These guys are
Far
not
out,
hippies.
man.
These guys are degenerates. Look at these riffraff. Look at Jerry. How cool does he fucking look?
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, just
Pigpen
that
just like
photo is like, it looks like he's like, what the fuck are you taking our picture for? That's what it looks like.
Garcia's Gang.
I was gonna say that's Pigpen with the cigarette, right? It's like he even
Look
looks
at this.
kind of, oh boy. Yeah.
Right? This is
Yeah.
from Fugitive Records. Look at this address. To correspond with band members, write to Sing Sing. Sell 1020.
You are now in Sig Sig.
Unauthorized duplication. So yeah, this is from 86.
I always thought that's funny when a bootleg says that. It's like, okay, that's like washing the. Never mind. Anyways.
Dwayne Allman's on this actually.
Oh, is
This
he?
is this is 71. This is a
Oh,
really
okay.
hot,
At the
really,
tail
really
end of
hot show.
everything for Dwayne. Yes.
Yeah. Really good record.
My son, he grew out the Dwayne Allman mutton chops. He looked like Dwayne Allman. for like 2 seconds. I'm telling you, I was like going, "Oh my god! All you need to do is learn how to play Southern guitar and
What happened? What happened to Dwayne? I forgot. What? How did he die? What happened?
motorcycle crash." And then a year almost to the day, I'm told, Barry Oakley, near the same area, same way. I am just going, you cannot tell me that that's coinky dink. Sorry, you can't.
Yeah.
That's just like, wow.
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, who's the Dwayne, right? Or no, sorry, what's the
Wait a
Greg?
minute. Esso, haven't they been shut down since 76? No wonder why you don't have many customers. Maybe punk more than a style of music. Well, it is an attitude of living too. You're right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You're
That's it.
right.
I think. Yeah, and I mean those
Punk
guys.
attitude.
If you listen to old Jerry interviews, man, that guy was subversive. He was not plugged in. He was very much unplugged, and he was always saying
Yeah.
like, "It's not about. We're not part of the thing.
Hey,
We're like outside the thing." He was.
yeah, but hang on. He's right though. He ran into a peach truck. That, not kidding. And wasn't like the
No.
last thing he was on was Eat a Peach.
What?
I mean,
That's
if
crazy.
maybe
That
I'm being
can't be
messed with
real.
here, but the fact that, yeah, okay, that's why the next album is called Eat a Peach.
Okay. But they're from Georgia too, right? So
Yes,
were they?
yes. Which,
They're from
believe it or
Macon.
not, one of the excuses for me going to Georgia, the what they call the Big House, which is where the almonds congregated, raised, they cut their teeth for those first couple albums, is a museum. Some mega almond fan bought it, turned it into this wonderful Almond Brothers museum. And I'm like, someday I ever get in Georgia, that's going to be one of the stops I want to go to. Because
Did you go?
No, I said if I ever get to Georgia. I haven't gone to
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay.
But you
I saw
betcha.
I saw the Dead 4 nights in a row at the Omni in Atlanta when I
Shit.
was like 17 years old.
Omni.
It was amazing. It was
Lots of
terrifying
things
and so
happen in the
fun.
Omni.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we camped at Stone Mountain. Like we had a full on shakedown campground. Amazing. I have one funny story. There was a guy who was wheeling around a keg of beer on a dolly, and he was like, "Does anybody have a tap? Does anybody have a beer tap?"
What the
I saw him
hell?
walking down the street, and he was like, "Does anybody have a tap?" And they had this full keg of beer and no tap. And he walked past. He said, "Do you have a tap?" I said, "Who has a tap?" And he
Yeah.
keeps rolling down. And then I remembered, like, wait a second. I actually, at that party that we hosted like 2 weeks ago, I still have the tap in the back of the car. And like I went and grabbed, I was like, holy shit, I had the tap. And I went and found, did anybody see the guy looking for the dolly with the keg looking for the tap? And they said he went that way. And I finally came to this like little cove where there was all these sort of sad hippies looking at this like full keg of beer with no way to drink. And I was like, I have the tap. And they were like, so crazy.
Too funny.
It was really wild. And then they put it on and then they rolled it down, shakedown. Free beer. And people would come and they'd be like, I'll take some beer. And they're like, where's your cup? And they're like, keg stand. And it got a little wild, but it was fun.
Oh my God. Too funny.
That's quite right.
This
This is fun. Mason, you
Sorry
said you're
about
on your.
sorry about the poor angle. I just realized I probably need to get my phone out of the sun, and
Yeah, that would help.
being on StreamYard on my phone, it heats it up a lot on its own.
Oh yes.
Mason, you got a high visibility vest going on here. Are you? You're not in some kind of dangerous work, are you? You're not out on a runway, on an airport runway, or on the highway, or anything like that, are you?
No, I just gotta wear it for safety purposes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do
Stay
over at my
safe.
joint too. Wear the vest. Gotta wear the vest. Shit. Wear the vest. Ugh.
I'm surprised to hear. Man.
But
Anyway, good vibes.
Yep.
Oh wait, so Paul, but here I know people don't really want to see records, but bringing this back to records.
Well, that's what half of this show is about, sir. Is we try to do this.
Okay, so this is the record that has Down with Disease on it. This is
okay.
I think 4th record. This album's called Hoist,
Mhm.
and It was produced by Bob. Let's see, recorded and mixed by. Okay, I'm mistaken. I was gonna say Bob Ezrin, but it's got. This happens to be it's been re-released a few times, but only it was once ever pressed on this splatter wax, and this was a Record Store Day release.
Ah,
Like in
nice.
2016, and we all slept on 2016 Record Store Days, and now this is a very, very expensive, like $300 record. So, but very cool, iconic cover here. Very stoked to have this record.
How do you pronounce the
And
name
this-
of that band?
Fish.
This Fish, yes.
Oh, it's called.
Or you
they're
could
called
say-
Fish.
You could call them also the Fish.
Right.
The Fish from Vermont. The Fish from Vermont.
What are we even doing the puzzle?
This is actually the most expensive record in my collection. I have more valuable records, but this is the most I've ever paid for a record. I paid $200 for
That was my
this.
first scratch.
I'm very, very embarrassed that I paid that much for it, but it's one of my all-time favorite records, and I found it in the wild, and it never, ever, ever, ever appears in the wild. And I thought, and I walked out. I was like, I can't spend that much on a record. I just can't. It's impossible. And I walked halfway down the street, and I was like, I'm never, ever going to get that opportunity again. And I'm not only paying for the record, I'm paying for the fact that I found it in the wild. I had the experience. I've walked away from it, and then I've walked back for it, and then I'm sharing it with you. It's all added to the value of this record.
Yay! See.
But
Yay.
I don't often
Yes.
spend that much
Fact.
on anything.
Fact. How you doing, Brian?
Good to see you, Melody. What's up?
Good. I love that Fish record. As a matter of fact, I saw Fish in 2017. I got one of their cups,
Oh, cool.
that they had. I'll tell you what. I don't know if you can really see it, but it does say
It's cool.
2017 Fish. It's got this weird design. I mean, I love this. And when I saw them, they opened up with the song "My Soul." My soul is such. Oh man, that song just gets you. I want to like do a cover of that. I think because nobody's ever did it.
It's their sound
No,
check
I
song.
just
They don't
realized,
often play it live, but they
there's
always
totals
sound
in
check
that
with it.
area where they-
It's a phenomenal song. I think it's really my favorite Fish song of all time. It's so,
It's
and it's an early song of theirs too. It's from like 2009, I think, or 2010. You can't.
No. It's no. It goes like back to 80. That's an 80s song, dude.
Oh
That
yeah,
goes
that's what I
all the
meant.
way
Yeah,
back.
right. It goes back to their beginnings, right?
Right.
It does, and, like, next
This is
Wow,
what happens when
man.
Garden Gnome Smoke. I saw that comment.
Yeah.
I saw that comment.
How's the chat, my buddies?
Hey, speaking of garden gnomes, look at this.
co-op.
Look at these crayons. Maybe you'll appreciate these. These are you can see, they're my garden gnome crayons.
Oh, they're cute.
Right?
They are cute. Oh man.
I got
Wow.
They look like you, Mello. They look like you and me.
I gotta take pictures next to some gnomes. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find a bunch of gnomes. I'm gonna take pictures of them, like garden gnomes.
Daddy,
That's funny.
That would be funny.
every time when you sit on the couch or lay down,
This is something I saw at a truck stop, and it was something that I walked away from, and I was like, I don't need garden gnome crayons. And then I was like,
Yeah. And oddly, you find yourself creeping back to them. You're like, you know what? I can find a reason to have these.
Mm.
wait, Dad, did you see that? There's a
Shit.
funny.
I hear voices in the background.
Oh, that's my grandson, and they're playing the
The little monkey.
I'm playing my phone.
Oh, he's playing on his
Yeah,
phone.
but
He
when are
says.
we gonna do that puzzle?
He's
Yes, I
a
did-
little cutie.
I
He's
didn't
adorable.
forget. We're going to do the puzzle soon. Okay, I did.
Well,
say
to
that.
get it back a little bit to the Grateful Dead conversation, yeah, if you want to learn more about it, they performed this song together in 1971 live at the Fillmore East. Just look up Beach Boys and Grateful Dead live 1971.
together, okay.
Nice.
71, what do you?
Wow.
You know, I like that kind of saying the Beach Boys makes me think of like what we were talking about earlier, which was like, retro and vintage and what is You know, like the Beach Boys never stopped. I don't know. I grew up with the Beach. I saw the Beach Boys at the ballpark. They were a ballpark act. They were like a. It was like It was like night. Go back in time night to the Beach Boys era. It wasn't like
I've
seeing
seen the
new
Beach Boys 4 times. 4 times at our local Great Adventure amusement park. It was like they had an arena in the amusement park, and every year on 4th of July, it was the Beach Boys with John Stamos, and John Stamos was playing drums, and he'd come out and do his one song from the TV show Forever, I think it was called, and
Not even
they
his
were great.
song, though. It's not
Yeah, I
even
know.
his song.
Right? It's
their
Desmond
song
Child.
that he borrowed, and he made it more popular because it was on Full House. And now everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Forever, that song that the Beach Boys took from Full House." I'm like, "No, it's the other way around."
Actually,
The
I
original
thought
version,
Desmond
for God's
Child.
sake, came out in 1970.
Oh, really? Is that what it is? It's that old of a song?
It was recorded by the Beach Boys themselves in 1970 for their album Sunflower. And,
Oh, wow.
I guess John Stamos loved the song so much that's how it ended
Right.
up. You know, he actually contacted the Beach Boys to do his version with them for the show.
Wow.
But also to kind of promote the fact that it was going to be on a Jukebox from Hell episode, if you catch my drift,
Yeah.
Paul.
I heard after Stamos sings it, he throws out a bunch of Greek yogurt to the front.
He did it good, though. I'll tell you what. He actually did it good. When I
He did a
seen
good
it,
version, but for people that are unfamiliar with the original, you can't say that his version is better than the original until you've actually heard
Right.
the original. Because I think the
John
original
Stamos is cool. He's
near mint perfect.
He really is. I liked him. He was a good drummer too. He actually he did a little drum solo.
Okay.
And yeah, he was actually pretty good.
I think he was the handler of like Don Rickles for a lot. Is Don still with us? I think Don.
No, Don's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in his last like 7 years, like John Stamos was his buddy, his young
Guy.
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
God, okay.
I missed it.
It's Doubt Reed.
Oh.
About John Stamos.
All solid Greek yogurt. Oh, God.
Okay, then.
I forgot he was on ER.
He was on ER.
Alabama's going to get beat by Vanderbilt.
But
Anywho,
Paul, like when
CPO Sharkey. Oh my God, I forgot about that show. Oh, I did.
You know, speaking of Jukebox from Hell, what's coming our way next? What's a little sneak peek of what's coming our way next?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked. I did show it earlier, but it's going to be October 1981, the third album from the next round trip.
Oh, wow.
Right. We're going to go there on it.
Surely that's not the one that has My Sharona on it.
No.
It's the first album. And
Because
That's a great album.
Because My Sharona is a great song. I can't speak for the album.
No.
Because I need to listen
That
to
album
it,
is
but-
great. Get the Knack is a great album.
Yes,
Good Girls
yes,
Don't
it
is
is.
phenomenal song. Phenomenal song.
And even the second album is mostly good, although there's sure some creepy lyrics in
Right.
one or two of the
He did always have them. Even in Good Girls Don't, when she's sitting on my face and all kinds of like
Yikes, I
thing.
forgot
He
about
always
that.
added those kind of things in there, man. I mean, that's just the way that guy was. Very, you know what? When you watch the video, he's very John Lennon-like too. He's sitting there singing into the microphone and looking at the guys like you could feel the confidence. Very John Lennon-like. You know, it's like they even got compared to the Beatles when that album came out. The way they looked, the black and white photo, the suits that they wore, and the pop, perfection.
Yeah.
Like that's as pop perfect as you can get as My
See,
Sharona.
and that
I mean,
was
that's
their
not-
curse. And that was the curse.
right.
Okay? Is when once again, this stupid press, oh, they're the next beat. No, they are not. Just like with, Klaatu is the next. No, they're not. And they were both capital artists that conveniently, of course, were on the Beatles label. Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Us capital
Well,
A&R and PR, we're going to push the
you know
shit out
what?
of this.
But you know what one of the worst examples of that scenario is? That comparison scenario that keeps getting repeated time and time again. One of the worst, I think, was when I was in junior high, right? This would have been in the 2010s, and they were like, oh, yeah, One Direction, they're the next Beatles.
What?
Sort of turn around
What?
people. Have any of you even heard of heard any of the Beatles songs to make that judgment?
Well, they looking at it in a
Many of them
sales
would
terminology, probably. Like, when they say Mariah Carey beats Elvis and the Beatles, with her hands tied behind her back and shit.
It's all smack.
Same kind
All
of
smack
stuff,
talk. I mean, it's like okay, what was it? I remember reading a reprint of an old Time magazine article, 1973. Bruce Springsteen's the next oh, he is not. Don't even
Well,
go there.
what? They always try to do that. They try to say that somebody's
I
the
do
next
like
somebody.
Dave, but that's about it.
Even when, literally, when Elvis went in the army, they tried to say that Tommy Sands was going to be the next Elvis Presley. And they were even putting him in movies that were like Elvis-like, literally. And he was singing like being a teenage rock star. Even to the point where Nancy Sinatra married the guy. She was in love with Elvis. She couldn't get Elvis, so she got the guy that was like almost, like a very clone almost at that time.
Yeah, and look what happened to Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
Over Nancy.
Yeah, but he also got in the outs with Frank. And when you get in the outs with Frank, Mafia's getting involved at that point. Because all Frank has to do is, hey, let's Kennedy this guy.
That's absolutely right. That's what would have happened to Tommy.
Oh, man.
Hey, Paul, I liked your a coffee. I'm a coffee aficionado impersonation a little bit.
Yeah, that's the Mr. Howell. Oh yes, Lovey. Lovey.
Lovey.
Gilligan. We're gonna go in the hut and have a 3.
Yeah.
Hey, with that,
Hey,
I gotta go make some
guys,
more.
but I gotta go back to work now. So
Same here.
God bless, Mason. Hey, I'm glad I got to talk to you guys.
Well, thank you for coming on, both of you.
Anyway,
awesome.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah,
love you, Brian.
I'm gonna bounce.
Careful.
See you guys
Drink
next
lots
time.
of fluids, Mason. It's hot out there.
Awesome. God bless, Brian.
Take care.
God bless. Take care.
And then
there were two.
Nah. And by the
Beetle
way,
Babe could come up if she wants. She's sitting there.
Why she's not, but I'm like.
She's just, but you read her comments. She's sitting there stoned, looking at the stream, thinking she's on.
Well,
and then she's realized she's watching it. Like she should just come up here.
Yeah, I mean we're only gonna be on maybe for about another 30, but then after
that's fine.
Yeah, because we usually shoot for 2. So
there you go.
Why don't you come on up and we can talk about your John Stamos fan fiction? Actually, what's really funny though, one that they do forget about for the Beach Boys, and I don't know what tour he played drums on, but Chevy Chase pre-SNL.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah, back when he had, what was it during what the hell?
Did you see? I mean, like literally in Groove Tube, the movie Groove Tube.
Yes.
You see him playing the bongos on someone's head. I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover, and he's playing drums. I mean, like, I feel bad for the guy's head because at the end he goes whack.
I spoke too soon. She wrote one already. In Florida, vote yes on Proposition 3 so we all can get hi. Hey, John, how are you? Yes, good to see you here. Yes, this is the VC Mike Douglas show.
The Mike Douglas show.
And Alan Thicke. See, to Alan
Dark
Thicke.
Wizard.
The shitty Alan Thicke in there too. Along with I can't do a good Jay Leno impression. I can't do it. I don't have the notes.
Yeah, right.
Nah.
Can I play the John Lennon part? When he went on the Mike Douglas for a whole week.
You could be the John Lennon part, and then we got to have somebody that's Chuck Berry, and somebody that's that could go and Chuck just goes back and goes, "What the fuck was that?"
He never experienced something like that. They never even practiced together. It was literally like right on the spot. Like it was kind of a surprise that they were even going to get Chuck Berry until I think the day of the show or something. You know what I mean? So John was like genuinely like in starstruck mode, hanging out with Chuck Berry there.
Kimba says, I think my diary from 1995 could be considered Matthew McConaughey fan fiction.
Wow. Well, that he incites that in women like that.
He's in the Lincoln, and for some reason, I felt that it was completely safe. I miss the Mike Douglas show too. In fact,
Yeah.
some of the memories of watching Kiss. I think that's when I first saw Kiss. I think I
Yeah.
happened to be home that day because Mike Douglas was on in the afternoons, and
Right.
I'm like, I'm watching this, and they play Firehouse, and they played one other song, but I know that you could see that clip anytime on YouTube.
Yeah. And then
But I
Gene
didn't
does
know
the
who-
interview.
Yeah, and I don't know who Tony Fields. Of course, I find out, what she is. Was never a big Tony fan, and she died really horribly. But he's like, I bet you I'm the devil incarnate. No, you're just some nice Jewish boy from the Bronx, which you don't know, lady, what you don't know. And but
You can't hide the hook.
oh my god, yeah, and the Groucho Marx interview. Oh god, that whole and Mo Howard and his wife go put the pie and the old routine. It was bittersweet and sad to see Mo like that, but it was like he
Yeah.
was still with us, and I was like, I would have loved to have met him even for 2 seconds just to say thank you for all the decades of my growing up. And here is our favorite. I don't care what anybody out there says. She's my favorite. She's Mello's favorite, and she's also the VC's favorite.
That's it.
You betcha.
Wow, you look beautiful, Jen.
She always.
I feel
Oh, it
completely
does.
stupid right now, though. 'Cause I swear I've been sitting here thinking I was actually on the TV.
Did you picture yourself on the screen too?
I don't look at myself when I'm on here. I'm busy looking at you guys, so it didn't even register that I wasn't on there. And I even made a few comments about rude. Everyone's ignoring me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's really funny, Paul.
When I'm stoned, my dog speaks words of wisdom. Let it be. And the artist he had, Kiss, the Standells. I did see the Stones clip from the 60s, black and white. I thought that was kind of cool. At least he tried to have his finger on the pulse of things. Melody in his wah-wah ice glass.
That's
wah,
right.
Wah, wah. Jen, you need a Twinkie.
Not yet, but probably soon.
I remember seeing Rick Wakeman playing the keyboard. Wow, what the hell? That had to have been a memory. I want to almost see that.
Right.
Always good to see Jen. You're absolutely
Always.
on.
Always.
That is right. Chameleon Church on MGM Records, 1968. Never come across that album. I can't remember if it was. I think he went from Chameleon Church to Leather Canary. What a name! And
sounds like something that I'd write about one thing.
And I know I'm going to get that. I know that I'm going to get this story probably wrong. But either he was friends with or they were band mates. But Don Fagen, Walter Becker, Steely Dan before Steely Dan. So he knew of Steely Dan. They would be in, I'm just like, okay, yeah, and it's like, yeah, if you were looking at Steely Dan at 71, 72 and going, the fuck is this all about? And then lo and behold, you don't know what's in here and what's going to come out. And I don't care what anybody says. Okay, those 70s albums were from Steely, even up to Gaucho.
Well, I was gonna just say, Thor made a declaration that he hates Steely Dan on Rachel's, and I'm saying I love you, Thor, but I totally disagree with you there. Steely Dan is like an echelon band. How could, even as a metalhead, how could you not, like, he called it elevator music. I was like, wow. I was like,
Asia was the peak of their powers. Like Steely Dan never had power. Asia was the peak of their powers.
Oh, no, that's a phenomenal record.
I was like, right.
So when Gaucho happened in early 80s.
Oh, I love Gaucho as well.
As much as I love those two being around, I think it was wise for them to disappear. But they never really disappeared exactly. I mean, when I heard...
Yeah, but the Royal Scam is also a very, very good record.
I think all those albums...
That's right after Asia. And Don't Take Me Alive. Don't Take Me Alive is a phenomenal song.
Asia's 77. So... like Can't Buy a Thrill was 72, which I
love that.
A quad version of that because they did make a quad for that one. I think they made one for that one, and I think they made one for either Pretzel Logic or Katie Lied. And But my favorite album, you know, with Dirty Work and Do It Again, and
Yeah, those are like albums of my childhood because they were just on constant rotation in our house.
Had a song on my head from just mentioning from Camp
Legal
by
here.
Thrill.
I don't know in the states where it is legal.
well, some of it is, yes, but
Well,
like I said,
sad rock.
I mean, I don't. That's to me. I don't give a shit if it is or not. Guilty.
Oh,
I
there's
was
lots of
watching you
words.
on a panel a few days ago, and I asked you something, and thought you'd ignore me. You just started talking about something else. Forgot I was just watching. Flapjack again.
Time to hug, you're afraid to pay the fee, so you find yourself somebody that will do the job for free. When you need a little love, cause your man is out of town, that's the time to get me running, and you know I'll be around. I'm a fool to do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. I'm a fool to do your dirty work no more. I love that song. Oh God.
Yeah, reeling in the there's a whole bunch of them there, and even though I bust Michael McDonald's chops, he really does great background vocal work on those Dan records. Okay,
Peg?
so,
Peg?
yeah,
Holy moly. His voice is like super high in that song.
but when IGY came off from
I love that song too.
I thought it was a new Dan song. I was like, oh my God, the Dan are back. Nope. What do you mean? No, it's a solo thing. Ah, shit. And then of course they try to come back in the 90s. There's just one problem, in my opinion. They lost their mojo.
Were they ever really referred to as the Dan, or is that just something someone said in chat? Now we're repeating it.
Oh no, I've called them the Dan for quite some time, but it's just
it's just long timers.
Before, so I was like, wait, is this a thing? I've
But
never heard that till
people, I got to choose my words carefully here due to little children present. So that
we know
name,
it is.
Of course, came from a book called and it's a.
But I thought I thought in the movie Barbarella they called it a Steely Dan as well.
Correct. I did not know that Shaw Blades did a cover of Dirty Work. I may have to look into that. Jen, when the
I love Dirty Work.
Give us a heads up. Yeah, Jess would want to join there too with the Care Bears. It's the Care Bear
It's funny
cousins.
mentioning Care Bears. My bedroom growing up had Care Bears wallpaper in it, and embarrassingly, even as like a teenager, my parents wouldn't change it.
Anytime I think of the Care Bear
cameras,
cousins,
I had to be very selective how I took photos because I did not want that visible.
See, my favorite Care Bear is the coffee bean bear, or the I don't give a fuck bear. But the thing is, whenever I think of the Care Bear cousins, I think of that Robot Chicken sketch. Oh my God! And then of course I love the Ed. I'm so and so, the mayor of New Jersey, and I'm going. I'm like, that explains it. I'm like yelling at the TV screen. I go, that explains it. That explains everything. Wow, that was quiet.
Concept, because I mean, they at least were able to have different animals that weren't bears. But I mean, on the other hand, I see your point about them being weird, but not as weird as freaking like baby ones that nobody ever established what they are, like Hugs and Tugs. They were the most annoying two.
Oh my
out of all
God,
of them.
Hugs and Tugs. That don't even sound right. The password is Puncture the Clown. I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Hugs and Tugs.
Yeah. What is this? A Harvey Weinstein bear? Oh no! Oh no!
They were the two baby bear cubs, and they were total little brats, and they sucked, and they were annoying.
Look at this comment.
That should be the name of the next fanfic.
It is a really good album. But when, like I said, when I first heard that on the radio, I'm like, Dan's got a new single. Wrong. It's not the-
Unholy parent on earth that I could have written to because I'm me. I literally wrote John Stamos and Liza
It's
because it
better than
happened in real
Automatic
life, and I
Rabbit.
based it on it.
It's true. That is very, very true. Automatic Rabbit would not have gone very well in there. But
90 minutes to New York to Paris.
yep.
Love that song, man.
That's happened and then some. I mean, it's just like for a song from '82, dreaming about from '58 what the future was going to be. It's like, yeah, most of it's already there.
What a beautiful world this will be. Dun, 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 a glorious time to be free. I love that song, man.
And I didn't know this at the time, but that one solo album he did, what was it called? Communard. Rebecca Comes Back. That's how they get back together. Oh, not a cat. Didn't you do enough of that on Joe's show earlier?
Sorry.
Yes, he did it, man. You can follow an Applejack. Right.
My joke, damn it.
Ooh. Wow, that was a good one.
Put that on the list, babe. Jen, put it on the list. No, not that one. I'm sorry. The what you said. This one right here. Write that down exactly how you said. Yeah, yes, and you can put that in whatever sentence you feel like. The sound of success. Not Night Ranger and their secrets of my success, but the sound of success.
4 a.m. came without a warning.
Paul, I know this is my buddy Tim from Rockford. Paul, I know you like watching MeTV. Have you seen their new channel MeToons? Where they, I'm not.
I did.
Lie to
Yeah.
you. I know about it, but oh god, they even had the Smurfs. Okay, so
They got everybody. They got Wally Gator. They got like all Hanna-Barbera, all of like APP. They got oh man, they got the Fleischer Brothers. They got, I mean, like Warner Brothers. They got everybody, man.
And I like what Robot Chicken did to the Smurfs too, especially with Smurfette and all the Smurfs that were affected. If you get my drift, but it's like,
yeah.
But the thing is when my daughter was a real young little girl, they had they still showed Smurfs and they showed Snorks, but she remembers this song like it's yesterday, but I altered it and I would go, come along with the sporks, come along with the sporks, it's not a spoon and it's not a fork, come along with the sporks, da da da. And she remembered that, and she's still like I can't remember, the Snorks were on one time and she's like in her 20s and she started singing under her breath that version. I'm like that's great. Yeah, yep, there you go. Or an Applejack hunter, says James Farley. George, I don't know. They probably have better stuff up in heaven, probably. There you go. There's the fan fiction title. It's John Stamos. Nick, you have it. Oh no. Oh God! Oh, you better be writing it. Thank God I'm keeping this stream up, Jen, so you can go, oh my God, what did I do? But along with a pen and a pad, going, yeah.
You'll always be able to reference it. Whoa! I'm enjoying myself.
I can tell.
That's right, Azrael.
Are you able to commit the cat away?
On a special episode of the Smurfs, interspecies love.
La 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 la. Sing a Smurfy song.
A Smurf trade.
Yeah.
A Smurf
Smurf
trade.
the whole day long.
Goes and visits Azrael in the wrong kind of way. Not brought to you by the ASPCA.
Go Smurf yourself.
Smurfity Smurf.
You know, they put Smurf into all these kind of things, you know, like any saying, they'd Smurf you.
It's still better than that. Wait, is there children in earshot? I have to ask before I start.
I have headphones, so nobody
Is
can
it
hear.
worse than Papa Smurf? Can I lick your ass?
It
Yeah,
depends
you
on
know.
who's saying it.
It's on
Yeah, right.
YouTube. It's on YouTube.
If it's Vanity Smurf, I, you know, might have a different connotation.
It's been on YouTube for 13 years.
Wow.
Wow, I never even heard that one.
As opposed to Speed
It's so
Racer's
stupid, but
incontinent brother, Pede Racer. He
Yeah.
unfortunately, he depends.
can I make a Mickey Dolenz joke with that?
Oh, right. Band had a Steely Dan cover band called the Royal Scam.
Nice.
I thought
Got
it was
it.
on screen, but it was you, says James. Johnny Quest.
Yes.
Man.
Man,
Oh God, look. Not only knows what I'd be without John Stamos' Zachy Rabbit.
I'm using
I need
it.
to do TV, John.
You don't know what fresh hell you're unleashing on one corner of the internet that I won't disclose where it is. That's your
That's
homework.
an economy class. That's an economy class Melody is giving us.
yeah, no, this is like this is just a little nugget, you know.
A nugget. You said nugget.
It is. It's little. It's tiny. Say it's just
Ladies
little.
and gentlemen, it's tiny. I gotta confess, ladies and gentlemen, that
I gotta watch out. I'll burn my lips that way.
Oh, that's not probably burned your lips. So the thing is that is it sad that I am the only sober one in this trio on screen right now. My favorite Melody impression is this. It's this. It looks like he's like chugging a caboose when he's like half gone. That's what he does when he takes too much. Like he lights it all up and then he gets it. It's like this. He's like, and then goes.
I love you, Paul. You know, just like when people were honored when Weird Al would do a parody of their song.
Hey, what sauce is with that nugget?
I don't remember if I mentioned
you know what? You could be right. Michael says Mello ruined smoking and resting.
Yeah. I miss it. I used to enjoy that part of going to restaurants. And that's funny. As soon as you walk in a place, smoking or non-smoking, smoking, bitch.
It's on a special episode of Psycho's Platters. Mello is going to lose a lung. Will Jen bust out her shirt? Well, you'll have to go for the Patreon. Okay, wait a minute.
Oh, God, Jen. You can't do that. Oh, look at you. Oh, Jen.
Put that in your
that's going to be a pause moment. Everyone's going to go back and pause that, you know.
There will be. I know Jen's going to go, oh, hell, what did I do? And goes through the whole episode.
She knows what she's doing.
I was like, oh shit, did I really? Oh, I really did do that.
Jen isn't as is smarter than we know. You know what I mean? She's smarter than at least 10 average players for sure. A lot of super marination. What is that?
What?
Beef that's like been soaked overnight.
I thought that was sex food. Oh my god, Urban Dictionary. I'm searching it. Oh my god.
Wow.
Super marination?
Yeah, because I bet you it's a sex thing.
Okay, write it down.
I am.
Marination. Thank you. I'm such a bossy bitch. Anyways, during the late night on weekends, Thunderbird, Stingray, Captain Scarlet, Joe 90. You got me on a few of these.
I never heard of it. I know Thunderbird. I'm not.
Now, Bill, I have to.
One for super marination.
Okay, I'm not making a women VC colander because everyone would be straining through it. Okay. Hopefully we're gonna. I can't get over. Excuse me for a minute about the blowback from some of those jackasses in the peanut gallery on RG's today when I brought it up. I don't know if you got to see this. I brought this up.
I was backing it up, trying to catch up on what I missed because I went to get my coffee and I was talking to my dad about the blood test
And
results stuff.
whoever
So I missed whatever went down.
again is going to get it because I am not that at all. We are making a throwback. Okay, if I have to explain myself, which I will, that for if we're doing this, the photos will be tasteful and there will be some type of vinyl involved. And I'm not talking vinyl fetish. I am talking, although if you want to wear that, I'm not judging you. There's going to be a 45 or a picture sleeve or a record or whatever. So it's all VC themed. See, people.
That would be cool.
Now,
and Jen, you know, when we were
buy this, see,
when we were
calendar,
when it was talked about today, honestly, Sue, we were like talking about the calendar, and Susie even said, "Oh, I think Jen should be just Jen on the calendar." And then I texted you in the chat. I said, "See that, Jen?" I said, "I told you a long time ago." I was like, Jen should do a calendar. I said it just a couple days ago. Even
January is January.
Yeah, you're already locked
yeah,
in.
January. You know what I mean? Like you could do different pictures or characters. You could be Harley Quinn in one, or you know, dress up as Princess Leia, or you know.
I also haven't seen Star Wars, so to be fair,
So
I'm
right.
strenuous when I do them.
There's not gonna. If we do this, there's not gonna be any nudity. It'll be
You
tasteful
want it to be?
fun. That will be through the Patreon, the special
Wow,
calendars.
Dan.
Wait a minute, the special calendar. Everybody's like, "Oh God, did you hear what they said?" Yeah, I love it when you people go send all your smoke signals.
Johnny,
more views and probably subs. So I mean,
yeah, but
for you.
Johnny L even left. Johnny L left the comment said, "If Beetle Babe does all calendar, just order me 3 dozen."
Did he really? Oh my God!
Yes, he did. So you really should think about it, Jen. You really should think about it. It'd be so easy to put together.
That.
It's on Temu. What's on Temu? Wait, there's more. Oh, it's on Temu.
But wait, there's more.
Everything's on Temu.
I would be insulted if you sold it on Temu.
I'm not selling it on Temu. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something here, okay? According to when I checked my analytics and that, which I do once a week, I qualify now for selling things through my YouTube. So therefore, if we're going to do this, and like I said, we'd have to, you know, I'd have to have everything all set up by what, June or July of 25. Everything's got to be there. Because it takes several months unless I find somebody local that can give me a decent price. And I'm serious. I meant what I said on Rachel's, that the only money that I would take back would be for the printing of the calendars. The rest of it would go to a charity that a majority of the people would choose, or even they could write in a charity and not no smart-ass charity, either like, hey, I don't know, you guys could think up something like that. But I'm kind of serious. I mean, it's...
You'd have to do it probably if you wanted to do Paul. Yeah, but Paul, if you wanted to do something like that, you'd have to do probably a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter. You put it up there, show a couple example of pictures or maybe what the calendar would look like. And then as you do it, you know, that's when you have the goal set. And then once you hit the deadline, you get it, you know, printed.
That's not happening. Tim, that's not happening.
Yeah, well,
it's not happening. But I hear what you're saying, Mello. I do. It's
goes
amazing.
from black hair to red, so for
black hair to red
it's
so
a witch.
fast. Yeah.
I never tried to make a secret of it. It's obviously a witch. You think I just magically cut my bangs and then they grew back, and then I cut them again and they grew back. That's
By the way,
and I colored it without all my hair falling out.
Yeah, but that photo doesn't look like it was taken yesterday either. It looked like it was like probably a few years ago. So you could have had short hair. That your avatar of you and the Beatles.
Oh, that's from like almost 10 years ago. They're talking about the videos with the black hair.
Oh, what you just did the other day. I got you. Hey, David.
So the thing though is that with all of this, shit, I lost my thought now. What the heck?
Well, especially if you're gonna do if you're really considering doing a calendar / record, because I want to do a comic book / record. So in the same sense, like
like Alice Cooper for Last
yeah.
Temptation.
Right, where you open even a gatefold album where the inside, like Magical Mystery Tour, is a book. 16-page or 24-page booklet. And I'm getting a comic book artist to do that because I'm going to do a comic book theme thing. But you could do that, but it's going to just get the cost is going to be more. That's why you need Kickstarter or something to help fund this thing. And that's going to, people will be already prepaid. So that's how it lets you know what even kind of print run you're going to need. How do you even know how many to print up? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to print up 10,000 copies. You only have 100.
No, I wouldn't do that. No.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm just using the extreme.
Right.
You don't even want to print. Yeah, you don't even want to print 500 if you're only going to sell 100. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
So that's one of your best ways, I think.
Yeah. In fact, believe it or not, Mello, 100 was the number that I was actually coming up with.
Right.
I think that's a nice run, and that's not too
right. No, but you might go beyond 100. Now you got to get a whole nother print run. So this way, beforehand, you'll know a guesstimation. Say if you're only getting, say you got 275, you may want to go 300, or 350 or something.
Right.
But it's just hard. It'll be more expensive to only get to 100 than get a hold because you have to do the print run usually in sets of 25 or 50 or 100, 500, whatever it is.
Eddie, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, this idea of mine only came into my skull this week. Okay. So, I mean, I am going to be talking to, I do know somebody that actually works here locally as a printer. So I need to know what timeline I'd be looking at. And then I would try to reach out. Like I said, I have a feeling I would have to have everything all gathered by June. Yep. Okay, maybe July at the latest, by 4th of July. And then we could figure out what the cost effective is going to be and then run with it. And what I mean by that is that's when I would go off and go, okay, like maybe a month before that, start the pre-order process so we could start having, some of those funds, and then as each one's getting going, what
you should do, Paul, even beforehand, as you're talking about it, before going any further, why don't you put out a poll or something on your Facebook or on X or something, and say, would there be enough interest in this to go forward? Because I don't want to start plans that if nobody's really interested.
Right.
Just do that.
Thinking about slapping a community post probably would be actually maybe
do that.
Better ones for me anyway. I've done it before. If it's a calendar for next year. Really? I don't know. I'll look into it.
No, you said 2026. I thought you said
2026. I mean, 2026, Eddie, not 25. Yeah, I know the deadline passed for 25, but I mean that's why I want to do the research. Okay, and if it's doable, then it's doable. If it's not, I'll come on and go, hey, guess what? I meant well. I guess I was talking.
And what are you thinking about? Go back into the record side of it. Like, what are you thinking that way? Are you thinking of putting a compilation of VC artists that aren't signed type thing? Because depending on
I'm not that good. Come on, I'm not. Listen, I'll tell you something. I almost would want to talk to. Oh my God, what is his name? His first name's John. I reviewed his last blues calendar with the CD. He's not doing it anymore. 2024, was it 23 or 24? 23. 23 was it. They did great blues calendars for about 10, 15 years. And they came with CDs with nuggets of blues music previously unreleased. I mean, this guy, I can't, why the hell is his name escaping me here?
Right.
But I mean, but we're talking the calendar with the CD costed between $20 and $30.
Right. But I'm saying, if you're thinking of that's different. It's CD's a lot easier to produce than it is getting a vinyl.
I'm not going there. I'm not.
Oh, because you said 45, so I thought maybe you were serious about
No, I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is that in the photographs of the models, there would be some type of vinyl related,
holding a 45 or something,
or an album. I
got you.
Hey,
I missed. Yeah, right.
Things like that. I'm kind of like what I'm thinking, and I know I'm being a little ridiculous when I'm saying this because it's off the top of my head. even if I am the only sober trio in this thing here, is that I'm thinking, you like that, huh? I'm thinking the stuff you would have seen like anywhere from the 40s to the 60s, that kind of feel of calendars, just that kind of look, if you will, but it's tastefully done.
Hey, Captain, how you doing, buddy?
Well, that would be the men's calendar that Groovy Lisa can
Yeah.
see. She's like, I don't want to be. Yeah, I know. Groovy Lisa's probably like, what the hell? I'm not doing no male calendar. Well, we did think about it. So.
You got to think of it this way, Paul, because if you're trying to appeal to the vinyl community, right, you're making it a vinyl community calendar, right, and you're appealing to the vinyl community. Wouldn't it naturally be, if you're going to have music, the music should be members of the vinyl community that can't get exposure? Like, you know what I mean? That might be the better thing.
I get what you're saying, okay, but it just...
They would be more appealing to want to get it, I'm saying, like, especially if it was an artist they never heard of or something.
Right, but I'm not rich. I mean, and
I'm talking artists, like, you have people submit, like, and ask if, for offer, you know what I mean? Like, I'd give you a song to contribute to that. I'm not expecting to get paid.
Right. I get that.
You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know. To me, I'm sorry, but to me, I think that would just give me more stress, that part, than anything else.
You handle that off to somebody else. Remember, it's a multi-team thing. That's you get people to help you with it.
Well, let's face it, okay? Let's just say, I know we're pipe dreaming here, but let's say the first thing did all right. Then you know what? It's called great. Somebody else can do it better, or run with it. This is not calendars have been around for what, hundreds of years.
Oh, sure.
Anybody can do this, and it's like I only want to do one anyway. I don't want to do another one after this. It's just I think it would be neat.
Hey, you can't say that. What if it became such a hit that people are asking you continuously? Next thing you know, all right, I'm going to do a second one. It's all it takes is success.
Somebody better than me can do it. Somebody better than me that's got their 8 days and counting. I am sorry, Jeff. My God. You had me beat. I mean, when we had the tornado,
oh my God, Jeff, that's terrible, brother. I'm praying for you, man.
It was still bad, but 8. Geez,
I'm praying for you, brother. Hopefully, you got a generator or something to help you, like. Because I know when we had Hurricane Sandy, we were out without power for literally 3 weeks. 3 weeks without power, but like literally, our neighborhood came together. We all helped each other. We had generators, kind of like. Took the edge off, so hopefully somebody's doing something. But you need gas, you need all kinds of shit, we didn't get decimated where our whole town was gone either, like some parts of it did get decimated, but like luckily in the area I was, our town was intact.
Jeff said no generators.
No generators.
Oh my God, that's got to be hell then. I'm really feeling for you. How are you even being able to power your phone?
Probably the charging stations.
Yeah, they probably have something.
I'm an idiot. Does Alex Dickey live around the affected region? Because I've only ever interacted with Alex once. I don't even know where.
Yeah, I don't know either, honestly. I know that, Elon is giving a lot of power stations. I seen him today there was a Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. He went back today. And Elon came out and he said that they're doing the best that they can for everybody, Hopefully it'll get to you, Jeff.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's near Asheville, Bill says. Well, I hope he's doing all right too. I hope yes.
I know one of my channel regulars was in Asheville and messaged me a couple days ago saying that apologies that I haven't reached out or anything, that our city got completely destroyed. It was like, oh shit.
Damn.
I think Elliot Cruz is down there too, somewhere around that area.
That's probably about right, Mike. Probably right, Mike, on that one. You know what's really funny? Speaking of the tornado we had in May, if they were here, I don't recall. Did you guys ever see any FEMA people down here during that tornado? Yeah, what we ended up having a lot of was a lot of Humvees. That's what we had. It almost looked like a mini takeover for about 2-3 days, and before they finally went their own ways. But yeah, kind of like Red Dawn. That's about. Dolly Parton is donating $1 million. Good.
I love Dolly.
Yeah.
You know,
Hopefully the money will get to the right place, though. People
Yeah.
donate this money, and then it goes in other
Yeah.
people's pockets.
Yeah, no kidding on that concept.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know. You know, as it see, that's the thing though, that it's kind of sad that it takes a tragedy to unite people in this country. Okay? I mean, I mean, I know I'm an idiot, but am I missing something here? Has it always been like this and I only realized maybe
No, it hasn't always been like this.
like I don't remember pre-Katrina. I really don't. Okay,
Well,
about that kind of feeling, and
the closest you could think of is look after 9/11. 9/11, the way everyone came together, there was a lot more unity. There was a lot more, people were on guard, and guys even like George Bush, they knew the whole world was looking at them, so they tried to do the right thing just because the spotlight was on them. Now the people that are under spotlight don't even care if they look bad. They literally don't care if they look bad. It's like kind of like the wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a wolf that literally the sheep have been the ones that knew who the wolf is. They were pecking at the costume, and now part of his tail sticking out, and piece of his claw sticking out, and part of his beak sticking out from all the pecking. The sheep that knew, and they kept pecking at him. Eventually, the sheep looks down. The wolf looks down, sees that you can see right through the clothing. He just rips off the sheep's clothing and starts just devouring everybody. That's what they're doing now.
That was scaringly accurately descriptive. I'm going to tell you that right now. I did not say that.
It's really, that's what they're doing, and they don't care. They're showing their cards, and that's how I know it's the end of the world.
So go back to the other comment.
Huh?
Go back to the other comment.
Which comment? I apologize.
Oh, David's.
This one?
No.
No, the big one that David reference calendar.
Oh, this one you mean?
Yes, this
Oh
one.
boy.
Question.
Oh boy.
Are the ones in the middle for the spindles or whatever they're called? Are they the little ones or are they the big ones? This is kind of an important question to know when thinking about how things are going to line up.
Is it like one of them little Beatle, records they got now? That little 3-inch record.
That's funny. Here's what I'm thinking. I hate to say it's going to happen, Mr. Nolan. I have a bad feeling that it's going it's going to be involving something so extreme that it kind of will bring us back. Like the prequel of it is going to be like the Cuban crisis from '62. It's going to happen, though. That's what I think. When? I don't know. Do I want it to happen? Obviously not. But once it does,
right.
45s.
What am I hearing?
You're hearing me getting nice.
Yeah, he's getting
shaking, not stirred.
Shake it up. Ooh, shake it up. I was clearly zoned out before I got here. Easy, giving us an hour talking to just the stream. Anyway.
So brilliant.
Yes. You're almost doing a good Boris Karloff impression. If here, do that again there. Oh man, wait a minute. See, almost. Now you just need the Frankenstein makeup all around you. Little Frankenstein. Yes, I know why you're here. And I'll tell you why in a second. It is. It's funny. Roll a number and spin the wax.
Tell me you can pop the nipple right through.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I have promised my grandson that I was going to do a puzzle, and that's what we're going to do. I want to appreciate everybody here. We had up to 37 people in here tonight.
Wow.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still 34 right now. 34 right now.
And let's see.
Love everybody.
After making the puzzle, I'll probably yes, I know they're a little Frankenstein. Ah, that's crazy. Look at you. Yes. Look into the eyes of darkness. Yes. Now, coming soon to a Kickstarter near you, Beetle Babe as Vampirella.
Ah.
We need that. Crank it. All right. I love you guys.
Or she could be Lady Death. She could be all in white, you know, like
Oh, yes, I like that better. I need to find
Lady
a good
Death.
outro video to put because it's just going to be this. Bye.